Hello everyone, welcome to GNU according to CD. GNU being Government of National Unity according to CD. Guys, let's talk about the prison raids that we witnessed last week. For me, it's a bit of a joke, honestly speaking, because wow. It's not like the correctional services, which is a problem as well, calling them correctional services. I agree with the EFF member of parliament who actually, I love that speech so much. I hope I will find it and I will insert it here so you can hear the her assertions in parliament. And I was nodding my head. I mean, it was like I'm listening to a hip hop song throughout her speech about we need to change the nature of our prisons. Let's stop calling it a service. That's a prison. There's a reason why it's called a prison. It's to rehabilitate people who have broken the public policy, thinking that they have the power in their hands to do whatever they like and disrespect the laws and also harass communities. Some of these people are serving heinous crimes, and yet they get to be visited by their families. They get to eat 3 meals a day. Sometimes the people that they've committed these heinous crimes against are poverty stricken. They don't know what they are going to eat the following day, let alone eat when they're going to bed. And yet, the perpetrator who took away their loved ones are having 3 meals a day and they are taken to private hospitals when they are sick and things like that. So I agree with I forgot what her name is. I think it's Chirwa, somebody Chirwa. I will find the clip and I will insert it and you get to hear. And I'm sure you will agree with what she's saying. I agree wholeheartedly.
I didn't hear you say anything about the fact that our children from our communities go in as men, as boys, and they come out as women from those prisons. I did not hear you say anything about the fact that those prisons are indeed not prison cells, but they are more like holiday resorts, Minister. It is a place where you go in as an amateur prisoner and you come out as a seasoned criminal, where criminals spend all of their time sitting and actually now becoming content creators. They become amazing at TikTok and at Instagram, Minister, while we as parents and people in the community have to watch how that type of justice prevails. You know that in South Africa, it is not often where we hear of successful convictions and sentencing. And in the case that we do, that is what we are subjected to. Only in South Africa do we actually hear that this government spends almost close to 400 Rand a day to feed these. And we need to change that name from inmates to prisoners. We need to change that name from correction, because we are not of service to prisoners. It needs to be a prison, because we cannot have a sustainable and ask ourselves, why are the prisoners being overcrowded? Because we accommodate prisoners more than what we accommodate our children in our communities. Prison in this day and age, we have seen it, is a place where you go and you master your skill.
But then are we surprised with the things that were found in the Johannesburg prison, aka Sun City? Cell phones were found there, chargers were found there, what do you call those games that they like? I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And you saw money, you saw drugs, you saw. And the question is, who brings those things in? Because it cannot be the prisoners. It cannot be the prisoners' visitors either. The only people that should be investigated more than the prisoners and arrested is the people that work for these prisons. Whole of them. And I'm not just talking few, there's no way it's only one or two or three. This is how some of these prison workers make extra money. That is why I am for lifestyle audits. The government of national unity need to embrace the whole idea of lifestyle audit. Let's see how these wardens are living their lives, and they must justify these lifestyles according to how much they are earning in the past 5 years. Because there is no way that all of those things were found in one prison. I remember somebody once said, if you are the Reserve Bank is nothing compared to what the prisons in South Africa hold. South African prisons, as from what I hear, billions of rands are in physical cash are in our prisons. And when we saw some of these raids seeing money uh, taken out from other prisoners' mattresses and beds and clothes and wherever else that they hidden them, like, oh, there we go. This is what many people have been saying when it comes to money. The prisons have money. I'm talking hard cold cash here. I'm sorry, I'm having tongue tiredness here. Seriously speaking, are we surprised? And how is Mr. Groenewald is going to clean this department? It needs to be renamed, number one. And South African prisons, I feel like in Africa, they possibly they are the most relaxed when it comes to punishment. Because I hear some people say, oh, it's not about a punishment, it's about rehabilitation. No, these people committed a crime. They must be punished, not to be served. Punished is the operative word. Prisons are supposed to be a scary place to go to, not only for your liberty, but also for your safety and the things that they are going to put you through the Department of Prisons. I agree. I did see a video of a Chinese that was comparing South African prisons and Chinese prisons. Chinese prisons don't play games. Once you are incarcerated, there is a process that you are taken through which is not very kind. And once they put you those yellow and white clothes, you get to work. You wake up at 3 in the morning, clean the cells and corridors, and you name them, and you take your shower and head to a factory where you are going to sew clothes that are going to be sold. In other In other countries, you make your own food. The government does not waste even a dime on prisoners. Some, they grow their own chickens, they grow their own vegetables, they do all these things so that they are able to eat. But in South Africa,
yeah, hello haters, hello haters. You put us in prison and you think we are suffering. No, my brother, we are doing extremely fine. Look how happy we are. This morning we had breakfast, and in the afternoon we had lunch, and we had supper, and we are about to have dinner, my bro. We are doing extremely fine. We are not even suffering at all. We are happy. And look here, we are not even paying rent.
No.
We're not buying electricity. Nothing, my brother. We don't even cook food. They give us food for free. We don't even cook. Yeah, the difference is the same, my brother. No, we are not. No, my brother. We don't need toiletries. We give for free. And the education is going to be free in prison. We're not suffering. We're not suffering. If you think we are suffering, no, my brother. You are wrong.
Yeah, you're
no,
wrong.
Very wrong.
that is why that prisoner had the audacity, the gall, the gumption, and the bravado to disrespect the people of South Africa by doing that video and say they are having it nice here. They are on holiday. They don't, literally reminding taxpayers of what they do on a daily basis so that that person has meals to eat 3 times a day. A South African taxpayer. Because we have to wake up in the morning, go to work, and at the end of the day, the government takes a chunk of our money that we worked hard for so that it goes and feed a prisoner that just spat on my face. So these things are not surprising, and I'm not quite sure why we are acting all shocked. Privileges, the moment you commit a crime, whether you are caught or not caught, you lose privileges. And I think you should also lose some rights as well. The constitution of the country, I am not one that pushes it for it to be amended or changed, but I agree that a lot in our constitution needs to be changed, starting with section 1 of the I mean, not section 1, section 11 of the constitution, which states everyone has a right to life. For a very long time, I was agreeing with that. But now, with the scourge of murders in this country, I've since changed my mind. Limit that section, put it under section 36, and say, provided that if you take a life, yours will be taken too. Because that right to life is for everybody. So now, who gave you the right to take somebody's life? So yours, therefore, also needs to be taken if found guilty. The second one is section 10 of the Constitution, which has something to do with dignity. People who should enjoy dignity are law-abiding citizens. The moment you violate another person's dignity, yours too needs to be taken, especially when it comes to men that forces themselves on women. Every time when a law is proposed to deal with them, the first thing that they say, what about their dignity? What about the dignity of their victims that they have stolen, violated? Dignity for dignity. Those two sections of the Constitution, I feel they do need amendment. They really do. They need change so that we can curb the scourge of murder and the scourge of people forcing themselves on other people without their consent. Look at Botswana, our neighbor. Quiet. People, they enjoy their lives because they don't have to worry about somebody entering their homes and wiping them clean with bullets. And once these people are caught, they are going for a vacation, as that prisoner was telling us. They are on vacation. They don't have to worry about buying electricity and paying rent. Do you know when that was said, it was as if my heart was being stabbed and the dagger was twisted and twisted and twisted by that prisoner. It was not a pleasant thing to hear, a pleasant thing to watch. It was upsetting. And I appreciate the new minister of, for now we'll call it Correctional Services, the swift action that he took on that prisoner. I hope what they did to him was severe. And also the raids, I do appreciate the raids because at the end of the day, the people of South Africa were still not safe from people that were inside. Because how is it possible that, let's say, Inkabi is, in fact, there's a case that I did on my true crime channel where a wife was able to hire a prisoner to kill her husband, a traffic cop husband, but the prisoner inside, because he had a phone, was able to call a friend on the outside to do the job, and they shared the money. The mastermind was going to pay the prisoner 300,000 rand, but because he was in prison, that 300,000 rand went to somebody in his family, and that family member had to pay the person that pulled the trigger his 150,000 rand, simply because of cell phones being in prison. That means society was never safe. And these men and women in uniform, brown uniform, this is the wardens of our prisons, they've jeopardized the safety of the citizens of this country. And it's not like nobody knows who they are. I refuse to believe that. They should be charged with treason. They should be charged with every other murder that was committed by a prisoner inside of this prison or in prisons. A clear message needs to be sent, and I hope the Minister of Correctional Services, Mr. Groenewald, he He take this drastically, takes drastic measures. Let's change correctional services. This is not a service. That's supposed to be a punishment. People supposed to be punished for the crimes that they've committed. Punishment will therefore brings out rehabilitation, because when they are rehabilitated, they will never want to come back. They will go out and be upstanding, contributing members of society. There is no way that our prisons, in its current form or practice, they are rehabilitating anybody. I heard the commissioner of prisons saying, "Oh, rehabilitation programs." I'm like, which ones? Because the only ones that I see every time when Nandiba Makutumana comes to court, she's nice and poshed up. That some rehabilitation program taking place in prisons. Some prisoners took cosmetology as their own rehabilitation program niche. What about the male prisons? What's happening there? I understand there's free education. Why nobody's taking that opportunity to better themselves so that when they are released someday, they also become contributing members of society? It's crazy what's going on in our prisons. Those raids to me felt like PR, but at the same time, I appreciated them because they exposed a lot of suspicions that we have had. There is no way that we can have people who are supposed to be serving prison time, they are able to create TikTok videos, even have more followers than any person that is on the outside, and enjoying privileges that's supposed to have been taken away from them. The only phones they're supposed to use is prison phones, so that they are tabbed and they listen to these conversations that they are having with whoever they are having on the outside world. There were even allegations that some prisoners were used as inkabi. They will be taken out at night to go commit a heinous crime against possibly a counselor or a candidate to be a counselor or somebody used by politicians. And after doing the job, they are taken back to prison. I don't know how true that those are allegations, but to me, they sound quite plausible. Very plausible. Apparently, some prisoners, they even had the privilege of going out to clubs at night, but at a certain time before counting of heads, they must be back in prison. And who is allowing them out? That is why lifestyle audit is important. I think must be pushed, must be a law, and then they start immediately, especially correctional services workers, home affairs, police, traffic cops, you name them. The usual suspects are the ones that must undergo these lifestyle audits. And these lifestyle audits must not be a once-off thing. They must be done at least 3 or 4 times a year or quarterly, so that we understand where they're getting their money from, or how are they sustaining the lifestyle that they lead. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Once again, guys, these are my thoughts. There's nothing academic about this. There's nothing for me to go and research about it. If you're into that, you are on the wrong channel. Go somewhere else where they do those sort of things. Here, it's all about my thoughts, my observations. And thank you so much for listening. And let's hope to see you again. But before you leave, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. And don't forget to click the bell notification after subscribing so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.